Hi, Marie.
Hi.
Hi, all.
Hi, friend. We did it.
Yay.
It was a miracle. Make sure I got one more thing going here.
Hi, everyone. Oh my God, my dog. Marie.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Marie.
Hi.
Hi, all.
Hi, friend. Oh my gosh,
We did it.
Did I do it again? I did it again. It's just how I do it. Where'd my Zoom screen go? I just want everybody to do one of these just once. You can have a sense of how bizarre it is to click all the links and get all the things all talking to each other at the same time. It's a very interesting process. Oh, I see you. I see you. Hi, Justin. Hi, Sarah. These are my mighty friends.
There we go.
They're hanging out in hammocks and sunshine and getting infused. Barb, I see you've got some sunshine today too. That's wonderful.
I wish.
Hot.
Some good stuff. All right. Hi, everybody. Hi, friends in the chat. I'm super glad you're all here today. I wanted to, dive right into some of the things that we talk about. Before we do that, let's just have a moment and settle in, shall we? All right. So wherever you are, if you would be so kind as to settle into the present moment. Just closing your eyes, becoming aware of the air that moves in and out your nose. Become aware of the energy in your fingertips. The energy in your toes. Notice any sounds around you. Maybe a breeze. Coming into this moment. Just allowing all of the thoughts just to be, without trying to change them or stop them or redirect them. Just simply observing. You might notice some feelings in your heart center or in your stomach area, wherever you're feeling energy, just noticing and observing. And as you observe your body just sitting, see if you can zoom way out, kind of out of body. Maybe you're still in the same room. Maybe you go way, way, way out. And notice how the energy is lighter. Way, way out. Allow yourself to be in that space of lightness. where the earthly cares are far away. All your concerns and questions don't exist out here in the field of love. Really giving yourself the gift of feeling this frequency. As you relish in this space, know that elements of your physical body are being healed. Aspects in your subtle body, any wounding, shading, is being illuminated and nurtured. Your aura is being brightened, cleared of any energy that's not yours. As you continue to trust that frequency, that energy of love with everything, with your physical health, your financial health, your spiritual health, your mental health, just aligning yourself intimately so that this frequency circles your spine, lifts you in times of fear or trouble, and reminds you that you are always safe, and loved, and treasured, and received by the divine, as you are. In this moment, I invite each and every one of you to bring your hands together in front of your heart and to take a few conscious breaths here in and out through your nose. Knowing that all of the healing we do for ourselves, we do for all of mankind. And with love and with gratitude, namaste. Namaste. Everybody good? How was that? That was a pretty good one. That was just great. Yes. Anybody want to share how you're feeling? Not yet? Okay. Everybody okay? That was a good one. Hello?
That was a
Anybody
very good
okay.
one.
I was
There, I'll
wondering,
speak to you.
froze for a second. Okay.
Okay. I'm just happy all of you are together. And I loved Peggy's fire this weekend and the whole thing. There's so much love going on. I love it. That's how I'm feeling.
Thank you, Kathleen. That's like my daughter says. She says, I love love.
Oh, I love love too.
I love love. We all love love, don't we?
We should.
And we're all learning to trust love again and to trust that we can be with each other and show each other the parts of us that aren't necessarily in the love at any given moment. And that takes a lot of courage. I just wanted to speak to that today. I'm really feeling that those of us that are here like face to face and those of us that are online and those of us who listen to these after, it takes a lot of courage to be on this path and to allow yourself to broaden your perspective, not only to a place where you can receive some of the information that we're all privy to and that we're all processing, but also allowing ourselves to reconcile that energy and to heal the feelings that come up with reconciling that energy. Are you still with me?
Yes.
For example, we were talking yesterday in a kitchen with Sarah and V, and we were talking about, the difficulty of peeling a pineapple. Like, how do you peel a pineapple? What's the best way to peel a pineapple? Because Sarah wanted to juice the pineapple. So this was the conversation we were having in the kitchen, which turned into, a really broad conversation just around what we were eating 2 months ago or 6 months ago, or what our lifestyle looked like a year ago, what was important to us, and where were our priorities and what were our values like then, and how significantly they've changed in such a short amount of time.
I was
And
talking to my husband about that because I listened to the show you and Justin were on. I go, they met on that show, and like now 6 months later, they're living together in Mexico. That's mind-boggling. That's so exciting for you, you guys. Yeah, it's amazing.
well, it's what you're really speaking to, Kathleen, is what happens when you're open.
I know.
You keep doing this work. You keep showing up when it's hard. Like Justin always says, you lean into the hard times. You don't go away from them and go hide. It's what I like to do. I don't know if anybody else is a hider. I'd rather just go hide under the covers. And
No, I'm a facer. Hit it head on and get it over with. That's my mentality.
I like your style.
It's not easy, but that's just who I am. I'm a train wreck. Just drive in there, just blow it up. Yeah.
Well, what I really wanted to offer for us today is just some acknowledgement. And I find that there's a lot of us that are really hard on ourselves in this journey, hard on ourselves about the food. If we're in a juice fast, and then if we have a banana or something, and then we're like, oh no, I messed it up, or all of the things that kind of come up as we go. And I just wanted to say that, it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of faith. And it's requiring now more and more self-love and self-respect. And not in the egoic way of like, look at how amazing I am. I mean, you guys get that. This is a pretty advanced group. But the level of which it's like, wow, and it's like, I'm nurturing that child in me that's afraid of getting it wrong, or that's afraid of getting in trouble, or that's afraid of disappointing the people that she loves and respects. When you acknowledge yourself and you can be the person in your life that's consistently at least attempting to acknowledge, the wins and the losses as opportunities for major, major growth. And what I've noticed with living in this community and now really having much more face-to-face is that it's happening like each day feels like a month, like there's just so much energy. Like we said yesterday, wow, it's only been nearly 3 weeks. And it already has felt like so much has happened. And so much has happened is because everyone is like taking off all of their armor, their false armor, And what's being revealed is, some of the wounding, some of the extreme light that all of us have, like all of it is getting kind of exposed, and it's mirroring for each other the places where, ooh, I can really jump into your light now. Like, let's jump in there and get all snugged in. Or it's the opposite. That's too much light for me because I'm not vibing there right now. Right. Or there's all of this interaction that's happening. And when it comes down to, how we want to be and who we want to be when we grow up, it really is about loving yourself through it all, and acknowledging yourself for the wins and the losses, and asking for support when you need it has been huge for me. And trusting that I will be received instead of judged or ridiculed for my need for love is really what it comes down to. And I think where a lot of us are wounded, where we've tried that and we didn't get what we needed, or we got a load of judgment, or we got a load of ridicule, or snap out of it, or you should know better, or like that language that I'm guessing that all of us are quite sensitive. I mean, we're pretty awake. So like we're feeling energies, we're in tune with people's thoughts, even though they might not be saying them out loud, and, all of that stuff. So it really is about being like, okay, look, I'm afraid about this. Can you stay in the light right now?
It's taking a lot of unlearning and relearning. This is going to be a big process to unlearn all that, making yourself feel bad. We've been trained to make ourselves feel bad. It's right. A big process.
Right. It's a big one. And can you heal the resentment of that too?
There's that too.
Because then when you wake up to that and you're like, well, wait a second here. All of the suffering that happened just because I didn't know I was supposed to be on fruit, like, let's just go for that one.
Right.
And how long is that going to take to heal? And can we be open to timeframes, even though we're all accelerating things at such a level that I don't think any of us are, new intellectually. Like, right. We're just kind of like, wow, okay, this is really happening right now. It's like, all right, this is really happening right now. And as timelines to a certain level are like, time is going away, like so much happens in one day, and, all of that, it's also requiring us to heal at faster rates. Whereas, healing your relationship, let's say with your, one of your parents, or, an ex-partner or a sibling and that kind of stuff, like, like my grandmother, for example, God rest her soul, who I love so much. I mean, she was in her 70s, complaining about stuff that had happened 30 years ago. In this reality, I can't hold on to things for more than 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we've got to alchemize now. We've got to move through this stuff faster and faster, because this thing is going at a rate that is unprecedented for most of us. We're like, okay, time is different. And I wanted to talk about money today, because money is something that I think pretty much everybody on the planet has got something to say about. Like it's this thing that we're all in a relationship with. And is it a healthy relationship is the question. Not a lot of the time, for sure not for me. I mean, like, okay, it was like, and I've shared this with some of you, so bear with me if you know the story, but like, if we're coming from, the business model, we were kind of in a rat race, weren't we? We were kind of like, all right, I'm hustling. I want to make this. I want to make that. I want to buy that house. I want to get this car. I want to send my kids to that school. I want to do, so we're kind of hustling. We're hustling. And it's kind of fun. There's something about the adrenaline of that keeps us going back for more, even though on some level we kind of resent it. Because what do you really want to do? You want to sit with your face in the sun and get your food from God. You don't want to be having to make the money to go buy the stuff from the supermarket that's in a box. That doesn't make any sense anymore. So when all of this stuff started to happen for my family, when we really started to look at like, wow, we're going to have to do things really differently. Well, that's a huge wake up. And so I think a lot of us, if we're dealing with any level of being, beliefs around beliefs, so it's a lie, we know it's not true, but believing that we're not good enough, or believing on some level that we're unlovable, or that we're a failure. We have some of these programs running, which we all do because we're all programmed into those programs. So until we deprogram ourselves, we still have some element of the matrix that's, messing with stuff. So at some level, you wake up to, let's say, money, and you go, okay, I'm going to make a big change. Well, a lot of us with those thought systems, and I think in this community, we can go pretty extreme. It is like one day you're eating steak, the next day you're drinking orange juice. You're like, oh, I got the news. It's great news. I'm done. It's a 1, 2, 3 switch. And I'm like this in my life. I'm an extreme person. I feel the energy. It's like, okay, I'm going to make a move. So for us and with money, it was like, all right, we're just not going to charge anything. And I loved how that felt. And I still do on some level. I still love the freedom of like, well, if I don't want to show up to Miraculous Mondays, no one's going to, I show up because I love you and I want to show up, but like, it's not because I'm obligated to do so because you've paid me to do so. You know what I'm saying? Whereas at some point when we're exchanging the money, the resentment tends to, show its little face, not necessarily because of us, just because of all the charge around money as energy. And so many of us, brothers and sisters on this planet, that have yet to really heal our relationship with it. It's like, we realize we've got to pay for things. We realize that, but we just want to all be like, hey, let's just, hang out and drink juice forever and love on each other. And that's what we're doing. And that's where we're going with all of this. But again, it's like this conversation with timelines. Well, there's this chunk in between. I realized this is where I wanted to go, but how do I get there? And how do I reconcile this healing process? Like, how do I love myself through this? And how do I encourage our community to also, look at the things that frustrate us and look at the things that trigger us and bring us resentment, because that's not a bad thing. That's actually a blessing, because it's bringing it to the surface for us to look at and to accelerate and to call in support if we need it. And so as it relates to money, it's like this whole conversation, and it can be quite charged. Anybody else have a charged conversation around money, either with yourself or someone else recently?
No.
Yeah, it's no good, Kathleen. Well, you're just,
Well,
vibing.
I've been on disability for so long and unable to work for so long. I had to face this so a long time ago. My problems with money is I feel bad. And my husband is the only one making, but he's the one that's working his butt off. I'm sitting home letting things just happen to me because I get disability, and that's just the way it is. So that's why I feel like I've spent so much time working on me that I've kind of fixed all that. I've never been someone who needs a bunch of material things anyway. So I'm like, if I can feed my kids and, I never needed a whole bunch of things. So material things never mattered to me. So that whole part of it though.
It's more like looking at how we're going to manifest our dreams.
Right. That's what I'm thinking about now. At the time, I was in the matrix. We have been until the last year. We didn't know any better. So it was very difficult for me to lose my job. And when I lose my job, I didn't lose my job. I lost my function and couldn't do my job anymore. So that was very difficult because we all tend to link our jobs with our value and ourselves, like what I do for a living, that's who I am, kind of thing. And it's sad. I mean, this whole year has taught you that you're not your job, but it's been that way for your whole life. So it's really hard to bring that around. It's just part of the process, but still, yeah. So money for me, I just want my dogs happy and I want food on the table. That's it. I'm like, I'm spending my money on fruit now. I'm just like that. I want enough money for enough fruit for the week. That's my goal. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, so that's what we're all looking for, but we're looking at like how to be sustainable,
right,
and how to move away from that, even that exchanging happening.
My husband went to the store and bought mango today. I'm like, they're falling off the trees in their yard. Can you imagine? They can go out there and pick them off the ground. How amazing is that? So I know that's what everybody's doing, but that's where my brain goes. I'm just like, I think of you people all the time. It's kind of frightening, really.
Well, Well, we think of you all the time too. I mean, that's what's happening, is that we're like, okay, this is not like someone sat down one day and had a master plan and said, okay, I'm going to start doing these YouTube videos and then I'm going to create this. Like this is not that. This is relaxing, breathing, trusting, and going with the flow. And
I think
during that
like
process,
my kid, like when the change happens, I don't know how my son, they're just so driven. I'm just like, you're not going to know how to just chill. You're not. I don't know how people that are that driven are going to reel it in, because I obviously been sitting around. I have no choice to kind of chill and look inwardly, where people that are going all the time and don't, I think most people don't want to look at themselves. So that's part of the reason that they keep going that speed too. So anyway,
like Sarah's move is like,
all the time.
you'll say something and it will go like this.
Oh yeah. So they're all on their own journey, and I get that, but it's gonna be different for a lot of people. They're gonna struggle. And Charlie says that though, it's gonna take years for everyone to, it's gonna take years to wrap your brain around everything.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, I think what's happening now is that, at least I can just speak for myself, and I'm going to open it up here in a second to see what you guys have to share about this. It's just that whatever's going to happen in the matrix is going to happen.
Correct.
But I want to create a new reality with my brothers and sisters who have heard this message. And that's what we're doing. It's a different reality. It's a reality where it doesn't matter if Joe Biden is the president or not.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
But I think, do we think that's because we know what's coming? Do you think you could have done this years ago?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm certainly grateful for all of it, because this movement has, like I shared earlier, has allowed me to really look at where I was going. What was I creating with the energy that I was into? But my error, and where I think a lot of us, maybe or not, could use a mini correction, is then cursing the whole darn thing. Just cursing money, or like being like, well, forget it. I don't need it. I don't want it. And I'm just not going to pay attention anymore. And I'm just going to be in la la land around it. Well, there's got to be, that's the extreme behavior that I'm looking to reel in. And I'm inviting, whether it's with money or any other, with food or with YouTube videos or whatever it is, where we feel like there's an extreme behavior going on. It can't just be one or the other. Like, we've got to allow ourselves to find the balancing point, the center, the narrow path. Like, my daughter's walking me down this beautiful garden. She's like, Mom, I just followed the narrow path. And it's like, wow, 7 years old. Now, what do I value? That. Okay, well, that required some energy in the form of money to get to this level. And so, no, would I be here without, Charlie Freak telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Not so much. I don't think so. Without hearing him and Colleen that time saying, if you can contribute, that would be great. And if you can't, that's okay, because we're good. That level of detachment around it really, I think, allowed a lot of us, stay with me, to trust, because there wasn't a monetary requirement for the information. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was just a real sense of like, I am giving this to you from my heart, and I'm trusting that all the magnetism is going to align itself for the finances to come in. And it did. And it took a minute. It took a minute for, and it's still taking a minute for a lot of us. So what's coming up for our group is like really looking at, okay, wow, well, we all want to build homes here. And we all want to live really great. And we all want to, have fruit forests and have a community center and a saltwater pool. And it's not because I want to fence it out just for me and my family. It's because I want to share that, because that's what feels like the energy of God, that extension of God, that expansion. It feels wonderful to share. And so in order to do that, though, you come down to the facts of like, well, okay, we still do live somewhat in a reality where Joe Biden is the president. And so whether we thought December 21st was going to be the day that Nasara dropped, and we were all like, woo, we're done with that. And I still I still hold the vision. But I think that perhaps this hasn't happened, on one hand, because a lot of people can't handle the things, and we can go there, but because a lot of us here in this community can do better at serving and showing up. And this is a teaching process, and God's hand is in every single minute detail of all of it. And that's the beauty of this, is saying like, look, if 2,000 people watch this video, and I said this to Aaron yesterday, and he was so like, say that tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to say it. It's like, if 2,000 people watch these videos and everybody chipped in $5, we'd be golden. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we would be golden. We wouldn't need to worry about, well, like, are we juicing too much? Maybe we're juicing too much, or maybe we should like, pull back, because that energy is a part of this experience. It's not a bad thing, but it doesn't feel as abundant, as exciting as the field that we all visited when we started this show today. It feels a little bit lower, a little bit denser. And so what I'd like to share with this community, and I'm happy to open it up, is like, let's start to be generous with each other. And not because you have to, but because you're like, wow, those guys are going to build a friggin' fruit forest in the middle of nowhere in Mexico. And they're telling me I can come there and like pick mangoes from their trees. And we're like, yeah, you can come and do that. And what are you willing to contribute for that? Is a conversation that some of us are like, I don't want to, but it's like, it's a part of things. And it's just like having a conversation around how I used to eat steak and now I don't. Same conversation. I used to charge thousands of dollars for these conversations. No joke. And like, now I'm like, I just can't do that anymore. It doesn't feel right. But there's some middle ground here that as a family, we've got to learn how to communicate on. And that's really what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to be like, hey guys, because I know that everybody is in a relationship with money, because this is what we're doing right now. Some of you are investing in silver. Some of you have got, land. Some of you have a disability check. Some of you, whatever you have, you've got something going on. And the question that I have for you, and I ask for myself, is what am I willing to contribute? What can I contribute?
Comfortable about it because
right
we've
now,
been deceived.
So yeah, so right now,
like it is trust. It's like,
yeah,
you feel like the people that have deceived you are robbing from you, and like that's why it's hard to talk about.
Right. Well, I mean, there's so many reasons why it's hard to talk about.
So many reasons. I know.
I don't know if we're going to go into all that right now. Like, let's just talk about banking. Like, let's talk about the Fed. Yeah. Like, let's talk about, all the things. But the bottom line is that there's been such a charge on the energy of money. And I've like had all sorts of like, coaching and courses that I've taken in my life, which have been around like, let's look at money as quantum, just as energy. And I like that, but there was still something missing there, because it was still like, you had to wage your worth by charging higher numbers. Exactly. And the middle ground that I'm coming to, and I want to hear from you guys, is that this middle ground is like, I know the worth here, because I couldn't be here in this moment in time without some serious amount of work. Is it complete? No. Is it taking another level? Yes. Is the dial going up? Yes. Are the rewards coming in better? Yeah. Are they always pretty? No. Are they fun? A lot of the time. All the time? Not so much. So it's like dialing up now this conversation of like, we're going to manifest this dream. We all want to contribute to that, and we're all going to benefit from that. And I'm super excited to like put that out there to say, look, if everybody threw in $5 for these calls, would that put you out at all? Or would you be like, wow, if 1,000 people did that, then those guys just brought in $5,000 today. What do you think people like me and Justin and Sarah and all of you guys are going to do with that money? We're going to make it awesome, as much more awesomer than we can, because that's what we do. And you wouldn't be here if you didn't trust us so far. And this is the healing that all of us are doing together. It's like, okay, I'm going to trust this now. I'm going to start to like look at things and go, okay, this is interesting. Like, I had a call on Saturday before I open it up. I know I keep saying that, with one of our mighty companions. And he was sharing with me just some beautiful miracles that had occurred in his life since our last call, and our group call online, our public call. And I said, yeah, that's amazing. Of course that happened, because you just had like seriously 1,000 or some people or more. Not only in the moment, there was a handful of us, but a lot of energy towards you reconciling something beautiful. And you know who it was? It was Dave. we all rallied, and we all were like, something awesome is going to happen now. Like, he's going to get the clarity he needs. And the miracles that he was sharing with me are him to share with you at some point, but they were non-negotiable and so obvious that they were taking him in a specific direction. And it was because and I said to him, I was like, I'm taking some credit for this on behalf of the Mighty Companions and the Miraculous Monday shows that you guys love so much, because we've put this energy forward, whether it was in finances or energy. The finances he needed showed up as a miracle. And that's what's so exciting about what I believe the essence of this teaching is about. The essence of not charging, the essence of trusting God in everything. The essence of generosity is to give is to receive. The essence of this teaching of not putting information behind, a money wall anymore, which is what we're so accustomed to that as it comes to, like, let's say accommodations or food or clothing. We're like, oh, I have to pay for that. Like, we know that we can't just go into a store and just take stuff, right? But with this type of conversation, it's a very different thing, because we're still trying to sort out, like, do we value time? And do we value the energy that, all of us are putting into? It's very exciting to have these meetings and have these conversations as a group, because we're healing so much. It's like you said earlier, Kathleen, we're healing the deceit. We're learning how to trust each other. And the bottom baseline of all of it is that we've all agreed that we want the highest for every single one of us, non-negotiable, the highest, the best possible outcome for everybody, everywhere. That's the yoga prayer, is that all beings everywhere are happy and free. And that's amazing. And that is where we leap with that leap of faith and that timeline. And we say, okay, I'm going to trust that, even though I'm like crawling up, Jacob's ladder, and I've got some steps to take there. I know where I'm going. I know that there's abundance of everything. I know that Nisara, I know all of that stuff. And in the interim, here we are. And let's climb those steps together. And let's do this thing. And we have some really exciting stuff that we're putting together for this community that is like just thinking about it gives me like butterflies in my stomach. It expands my heart center just on a physical level, let alone what I feel energetically when I really get into that reality. What is that like every day? You know what I'm saying, right? I think you do. I think you do. I think you do. So thank you for listening. I trust that, I'm doing the best that I can to communicate in a way with the least amount of charge possible, and doing my work to alchemize any charges that I have, because I don't even like the word charge. So I don't want to charge for anything. I don't like the word. It's a charge. So it is about just being vulnerable and saying, like, look, here's where we're at. And it's like, let's talk about that. Are we mature enough to talk about that? And are we willing to own our part in it and be responsible for our thoughts and feelings and allow ourselves to be uncomfortable? Because here's the thing with healing. It's not always going to be comfortable. There's going to be, and the lighter you get, the rawer you get, the higher you get with this juice, the more you feel the feelings. Right? So it's feel the feelings. What is this about? What is this bringing me to? How can I bring love to this? And love communicates clearly, directly. It's open, it's fearless, because it's love. Love is all encompassing. There is no opposite. It's everything. So as we practice that, we're literally letting go of all of the toxicity. And we're feeling that in terms of the acidic breakdown, physically, but also I just want to bring light to the emotional aspects of this journey, the spiritual aspects of this journey, and the subtle body. And I had an amazing conversation this morning, and I'm going to stop talking here soon. Thank you for holding the space. But with a woman who channels Jesus this morning that a friend had gifted to me from Sweden. Some of you know him. Anders, he's my astrologer friend. We did a show at one point. And he gifted me this session. And like, I was like hanging out with Jesus this morning in a way that was like, wow, okay. I felt the presence of this incredible master. And I can't really share too much about it just yet because it's still very new for me, but the energy of it was so healing. And the energy was the absence of any kind of suffering, any kind of shame, any kind of blame. All of that cannot exist in the presence of that much love. And that was one of the messages, like letting go of that critical, because that's a training. That's not how I came in here. I got trained in that. And this awakening journey is unprogramming, letting go of all of that and learning how to do that, because we're clutching, a lot of us, we've normalized a lot of that pain, a lot of that energy. And this is a detachment process so that we can absorb more and more frequencies of light, and we can serve at higher and higher levels. And we cannot wait to have you guys down here, because we're planning some incredible stuff for this summer. And just the thought of it, of sitting in that big grassy circle and doing a Miraculous Monday with us right there, all looking at each other, and then streaming it also. Cool. But actually being able to be face to face and everybody having their own cup of juice, really brings me a level of joy that I believe is our birthright. That's what this is about. You deserve a level of joy that you have tapped, and I have tapped. But I'm talking about levels, look, full body chills, levels of consistency in terms of joy and love and forgiveness and communication. I had a conversation with Brother Aaron last night that was so healing, I'm sure, for both of us. So beautiful, about family and raising children, and so heartfelt. And it was like, this is what I wanted. He's like, wondering about the children. How do you feel if I was like, dude, talk to them, teach them. I want you to be you guys, this is what this is about. This is about all of us sharing our gnosis, sharing our gifts. And as we do that, we're healing so much, so much, so much. I can see it. Sometimes I can just see it kind of like falling away. Or when I lay down to Shavasana, or I take, really big breaths in the yoga classes we're doing this morning. We're also offering you guys some yoga classes. Get in there. Even if you just do the first 20 minutes of that class, I'm telling you, it'll change your reality. Changed mine. I was feeling a little freakish. I did a couple deep breaths, a few sun salutes, and wow, a miracle occurred. Justin knows what it is. And this is what happens. You're so powerful. You don't have to linger in the suffering and in the pain and in the discomfort any longer than you need to. Because again, we're learning through contrast and comparison. So whenever you're ready, the out is there, the door is there. It's like, you're the one putting yourself in the cage. It's unlocked. FYI. You will walk your little legs right out of there and take a deep breath and accept the fact that you are a divine creation. And what was intended for you was not this. It's that. And this thing is about getting there as quickly, as swiftly, as gracefully, and as easily as possible. And with as much love and consideration and compassion for all. Because it's not easy, and a lot, there's a lot of struggling, and we need to hold each other and love each other through this, and not judge each other about it. It's like, here we are. Welcome to the program. So yeah, those are some of the things that I felt needed to come through for us today as a Mighty Companion group. And I really appreciate you guys and the level of consistency. I've never been this consistent in my professional life. And this is the most unprofessional thing I've ever done. Never showed up every week consistently. I was like, I had twice a week, this and that, or twice a month, and, all the other things. But you guys have given me so much love, like so much love. Anytime I get a message from any of you here live in the chat, or and you say to me, I'm a bright light. Thank you. So are you. It's like Justin says, I'm a mirror for you. And when we see the light in each other, that is the meaning of namaste. I see the light in you. I see it. And when you're in that place and I'm in that place, we're one. And we're eager to get to that place for longer and longer stretches of time. And we've tapped it. Here as a family, we've tapped it online and we've tapped it in person. But we keep dipping back in because we're climbing steps, and it's a journey. It's a journey, and we could use your love and support, whether you're sending us messages or $5. We'll take it. $5 is a lot of money for us right now. I know that that sounds silly, but we're in Mexico, so $5 actually is a lot of money. So, never $2, $1. Let's start doing that more consistently, and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, because we're the kind of people that are going to make things awesomer and awesomer. And you know that because we've carried you and you've carried us. And this has definitely been a mutual journey. It's not been easy. I mean, we've taken so many hits. All of us have. All of us have. Some of us a little bit more publicly, but it, the hits are hits. The hits are hits. They're psychic. They're deep. And we're alchemizing them. We're taking the heat. We're taking the heat because we believe in you, and we believe in ourselves, and we believe in our creator. It's just so extraordinary what's happening right now. So extraordinary. And I keep getting the message from Jesus, from God, from the angels, from my guides, from Shelly, who gave me an amazing Reiki service where I just cried for half of it. Like, the message is we weren't meant for suffering and lack. We weren't. We were meant for some serious greatness, for some serious fun. You know what I mean? Like frolicking type fun. Dance party type fun. And not like once a year. Like if we can really do this, like when we put events together, you're going to come down here for 10 days and get so blasted out. Go back to whatever reality you just came from, and it'll be different because you're different. So that's the story for right now. I trust that was okay. And if anybody wants to share anything else, please. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah.
I got some thumbs up.
Yeah,
You got to roll.
that was perfect, Marie. Thank you so much for sharing all that. It was beautifully said. And I just wanted to, I felt this.
I trust that was okay. And if anybody wants to share anything else, please. Mute you. Okay.
Yeah, I felt very moved to talk about being creditors and being a debtor, and how that applies to, how it's discussed in the Bible, and really just breaking down what that really means. So we've been trained in this organized society to only be debtors, and being a debtor means it's a slave master mentality where I'm not acknowledging that I'm a sovereign being. And so I need to be charged and held accountable. And I need to have people tell me how much I owe and how much I have to pay for things. And on the other hand, I'm being a debtor in the sense of charging people and keeping people enslaved. And that's that kind of world. That's the world that we want to shift away from. But the only way that we shift towards this creditor mentality where I know that I'm a child of God, I know that I'm sovereign, is if I step into the responsibility of acknowledging where things are being shared. And I can't expect there to be a charge. I can't say, well, I'm just going to wait for these charges to happen and then pay. No, I have to take responsibility and say, I acknowledge where the energetic exchange is. And I have to reciprocate that. I don't have to, I'm not forced to, but if I want to create this world of abundance where we are all creditors, then I have to take responsibility as a creditor and freely give when I recognize that there is freely being given back to me. And so just recalibrating that balance is really helpful for us to take responsibility and step and create this. And it's not going to happen overnight. So there are transitional steps that we have to take within that. And I very much do want to move away from this world of finances and needing money for things like that. But right now we've got to use these dark spells that have been cast on us, and we've got to turn them around to disband them. We've got to recognize that all my effort needs to be pouring into using these tools to remove these tools.
Yes.
Instead of just letting them go entirely. And we could just go live in the woods and remove them entirely, but that still leaves the rest of everything. So if we truly want to alchemize this entire experience, we have to say, okay, this is where we're at. Let's have some transitional points to get there, and then take responsibility as that creditor and say, you know what, I don't want to live in a place where everything has to be demanded of me. Everything has to be, I don't want prices anymore. I don't want there to be this where people demand I have to pay something, because then if I stay in that, then we're just going to stay in this world where everything has to be demanded and we have to be priced and we have to be put in debt, and we get that. But if we want to move outside of it, then I get to say, you know what? I'm going to look at what this person is doing. And I even want to get to the place where there's a store that I can walk into and grab what I want, and I pay what I want and what I can, with this trust that I'm always going to be paying abundantly and paying adequately and paying more so, and giving as much as I need to. And that trust is reciprocated. You know, we'll get to that space. So the more ways that I can do this here and now, which includes, you know, people tuning into these kind of shows, and you know, I always say when people have one-on-ones with me, which it truly is such a highlight of my day when people have one-on-ones with me, because I get to sit down with just absolutely incredible divine children of God. But I always say, you know, like, I do have a contribution page, and it's not an expectation. There's no charge. I will never charge. But if you can't pay me financially, then please pay it forward. Please honor the energetic exchange that's occurring right now. Honor the work that's being put into these. I mean, we do lots of shows all the time, and it does take a lot of effort and energy, and it's because we love doing it. And if we want to maintain this way of being, we have to be acknowledging that kind of energy being put forward. Otherwise, we're just going to be put back into that box where everything is charged and everything is priced and everything's mandated. So why not step into that freely giving, that abundance mentality, that everything is, and then we start to push away these walls. We start to push away these restrictions, and it just gets better and better and better. But it only happens when we take that leap, when we step into that, when we say, you know what, I'm not going to wait for things to happen. I'm going to take ownership of it and make it happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, just wanted to say that. That's a big part of it. But where, you know, it's weird because it is a transition. Transitions and changes are always weird. They're always strange. And so we're navigating it all together, trying to feel out what's best and what's the best route to do things, and how can we go from, you know, point A to point B without skipping point B to get to point C. And when really we want to get to point Z, which is where everything is just beautiful and abundant, and we don't have to worry about this anymore. But we do have to be responsible, and we have to figure out what this transition looks like. So walk with us, and let's all be transparent, and let's figure out the best way to do that. Because if we're all in it together, there's no one left behind. So yeah, I love y'all. I love y'all.
Thank you. We're so blessed, you guys. Like, I mean, just the level of being right now, just the level of being it's just extraordinary. Like I said to Justin, you're extraordinary. You're an extraordinary being of light. Like, thank you for, like, I'm so excited I get to see your face every day. And it's not always fun because he's mirroring for me places where I'm still a little bit, but that's good. Like, that's what we signed up for right now. Hopefully not forever. Hopefully we'll have our own houses so we can have, you know, a little bit extra space. But right now, this is what this group, we signed up for this. We said we would do this, and we're doing it for ourselves. But when we heal, we're not healed alone. And I can already see 99 people in the chat and you guys here shaking your heads going, oh yeah, we're onto something here as a family, as a community. And it's the healing and the salvation of the world. Like, it's so massive. It's so immense. And we're there on some levels. Like Justin said, we already at Z, but like the letters in between, we've got to master. It's each step along the way. That's actually the fun part. That's life. That's this journey. That's what we signed up for. And I'm super grateful. You know, we had a conversation yesterday with Charlie, and it was interesting. It was like, okay, well, here we go. Like, this is a little bit uncomfortable in some way. Like, whoa, look at it. And but it's like good, because like it's moving the stuff around. It's moving. We're getting moved to raise our oils, you know, to lift out of survival. And that means acknowledging when we're in survival and looking to see when we can, you know, shift into being the creditor. It's so much more fun to just give. So much more fun. And so many of us are just so damaged with the system. I feel you. And if you're not, then wow, like, you can be the treasurer of the thing. But like, I think that a lot of us just got to acknowledge that there's been some weird ass stuff that's happened with money along the way. And it's good that it's coming out and we're getting to the next level. All right. Get my water. Who's next? Go ahead, Patrick. I'm so happy to see you, Patrick. And if there's space, I'd also be so open to hearing that download you had recently that I missed somewhere in the transition.
Yes, we'll be doing. I talked to Justin about it. It's about Genesis 1 verse 1,
Okay, good.
and it's a whole book, a whole story in itself. So we'll arrange something to that.
Awesome. Right on. Right on.
Yeah, I totally relate to what you were talking about, because at the moment I'm in a space where I've been laid off, so without a job since beginning of this year. And I'm on the straight and narrow path between trusting and, on the other hand, feeling I need to pay the bills and I want to buy fruits to juice and eat healthy.
Yeah.
And it's challenging at times, because I've been working in advertising, marketing, so and I know the marketing tunnels, and I see the programs where people are lured into something and then with a free gift, and then afterwards they have to pay a lot of money to get the information they really want. And I've also have experienced ways where I helped people and gave my energy, but at the end I felt drained, like there was an imbalance.
Yeah.
So I'm still struggling with that. I don't want to go into the old system anymore, because I feel that totally doesn't resonate anymore. And on the other hand, I want to trust and help and be and come from a place of service to others.
Yeah.
But how do you trust or lean into the reciprocation of it, that there will also be a way that I can keep on living in? So yeah, I find it really challenging sometimes.
It's the question. And I'm glad that you brought up the feeling of that exchange when it isn't reciprocal. And it's probably because we've gone into it with some level of expectation. So it is a practice of, like what Justin was sharing earlier, of like, look, this conversation is because I love you and I'm going to have this conversation with you. And I used to charge $550. Please don't judge me. Please don't judge me. People paid it. I was about to be like, superstar. So whatever. But like, I used to charge that. And I started at 90. Like 15 years ago. So now it's like, I used to do that, but now I'm going to have this conversation with you because I love you. And I'm going to trust that you're going to contribute whatever. I know the value of this. And I'm going to trust that you're going to contribute the value that resonates with you, that's high for you, but that doesn't break your bank, and that I don't get to tell you what that number is, because I already know the value of that. And I think when we continue to embody that, it's going to make it easier for people to be generous. So like if it's a service and somebody gives you $25, this is for me to learn. I'm like, okay, Marie, ooh, that was a little funny, but thank you. And I'm learning how to expand and how to know that like it's coming to me in other ways also. And miracles occur naturally as expressions of love. And magnetism has a mind that's not egoic. So whatever the exchange is, if it didn't feel like it was a win, then your responsibility for owning that feeling, right? And that's like I am. So I have to say, like, look, I'm going to have this conversation with you because I love you. And I'm going to make sure that my kids are covered and that I have the internet and I have everything set up so that I can be fully present. And I'm going to bring all of my years of joy and perseverance, you know, it's like, I'm going to bring all of that to this conversation. I'm going to look my eyeballs into your eyeballs, and I am going to pull you out of any mess if you want me to. And we're going to talk about hard things together. And you can share anything you want with me confidentially. And I'm not going to go blurting out your stuff. Okay. And I'm going to hold on to it. And anytime, and I'm going to pray for you every night. And every time I think of you, I'm going to be sending you some serious joy and some serious love. And that's a gift. And so if we keep communicating that, people are going to start feeling it, and miracles are going to occur for people, and they're going to link them back to you and to the work that you did and to your contribution in that. So whether you didn't get the amount in money that you thought you were going to get, this is for me as well as anyone else who's in the service kind of thing, keep eyes open for the miracles in other ways, because maybe that person wasn't quite ready, or $25 for them was like $550. Could have been. But God knows what we need. And this is a reminder for me as much as it is for anybody here. Hi, Angel. It's Sarah Love. Come on here. Get in here. You know, it's as much for all of us is to stay open to the ways that the miracles are showing up. And I've seen them even since I started this journey by saying, okay, I'm not going to charge. I'm not going to tell people what I'm worth. I'm going to know what I'm worth. I'm going to know what this gnosis is worth. I'm going to know what this time is worth. I'm going to know what it is to sit next to Justin and Charlie and Sarah and Aaron in these amazing conversations. I'm going to know what that resonant field feels like. Ask Aaron what it felt like for that last Bible study. We were like it was like, you know, electrocuted. It was incredible. I mean, it was just, the energy was just like, you know, it was so, you know, think about what that, you know, what needed to be released. Like, I can't go into that in my insanity, right? Because I got it just like everybody else. I'm not like, you know, I got my own craziness too that I'm working through. But I trust that serves you, Patrick, and all of us as we maneuver through this, because love is this energy that's going to allow it to come, but it requires us to get it out. Like, we've got to be able to communicate. And that's where I've been blocked for the last 6 months, and probably why now we have to have a whole conversation on it. And I told Charlie, I want to do a whole thing on money at some point. Just like, there's so much that we can look at here, that he can shed light on, that I'm just, you know, tapping. But I know that I have one thing, which is a relationship with it. And I want it to be a healthy relationship, which means I need to show up for it. And I need to communicate with it. It's just like any other relationship, right? Like, what if you avoid it? What if you're in a marriage and you stop going on dates and you stop having romance? Like, is it going to last? No. I mean, it's like anything else. You got to yummy it in. Yeah. Patrick, anything else?
No, I really loved what you said about the way you step into it and come from a place where you say, I know what it's worth, I know the value, and I want to serve you on the highest level. That's really touched my heart. And I think, yeah, thank you for that.
Honey, you're so welcome. I love you. I'm so excited to be having real conversations.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
Like, we're having a real conversation. Nobody is shrinking away. Nobody's saying you suck. You don't know anything. You live in Mexico. Nobody's doing that craziness. We're showing up for the hard conversations because we are strong. My yoga teacher used to say, you're stronger than you think you are. Mm-hmm. When I started yoga, I was like stiff as a rock, broken in my body. I had 3 surgeries. I was a mess. And I kept looking at everybody around me, just like moving and just like so graceful and breathing and doing all that. I was like, but I knew if I just kept showing up and putting myself in that situation, which was difficult, it didn't feel good in my hips, but it did, because sometimes the pain can shift to pleasure. It's called pratyahara in the 8 limbs of yoga. It's the shift from pain to pleasure. And so we walk into the pain. We walk into the fear. We walk into the discomfort. We're not afraid of it. We just go straight through it. And we know that no matter what comes at us, it might take a little bit longer for some of the shit to get, to alchemize. I know for myself, sometimes, it'll take me 24 hours to get rid of some energies. But sometimes I can get rid of it in 35 seconds. And that's fun too. And we're getting better and better at that. We're getting better and better. But yeah, it's good stuff.
Love you.
Oh, I am blushing. Thank you, Patrick. I love you too. Wow, go us. All right, Barbara, was it you, babe? Oh, there's a furry friend here. Hey.
Can you hear me?
Who is it?
Can you hear?
Barb. Oh, I was thinking that Barb. There's two Barbs. Barbara,
Oh.
Barbara in Europe, you're next. Barb in Canada, go for it, love.
Can you hear me then? You can hear me? No? Oh,
Yes,
can I hear you? Can you
we
hear me? I
hear
missed-
you. Loud and
good.
clear.
Okay, good. I didn't see anybody say anything. I was like, what? Just a couple of comments, and then I have to ask a question for some clarity. So one thing I thought was funny was, I think it was yesterday morning or the day before, I finally opened up a Visa bill that I got. So I think it's funny that we're talking about money, because I opened up the Visa bill and it's $10.
Nice.
And I had to laugh because that's how I know how much I've changed, right? Because in the past, it's always been 1,000, 2,000, like it's just ridiculous, right? So somebody's changed when their Visa bill comes and it's almost zero, right?
It's awesome.
So you can see how like my evolution too, where I'm not spending the way I was before, right?
Yeah.
So that's the positive of all this for me.
Amazing. Barb.
Yeah. And then was my other comment about money. Here's what I've learned about money. Like I've always been pretty lucky in that area. I'll just say that, but I don't think it's luck. I believe truly, because I've always been so grateful and I always thank God for it. Like that's the first thing I say, right? So whether I've won money, been given money, usually it's I've won money, to tell you the truth. And, he's the first one I thank, right?
Beautiful.
So I think that's personally why I've never really struggled a lot with it. I've struggled in other areas like love and other stuff, but that was the one area of my life that I haven't really struggled like other people. Yeah. And it's also probably because I've been given, like I give with my money, right? So like I have a lady right now that I'm helping and she's got 7 children. She's a single mom. She's homeschooling them all. It's just amazing. I don't even know her. And so it took her like almost 2 months to accept money from me, but she finally did. Beautiful. So those are the ways that I choose to give, right? And then of course I've tried to help Colleen and Charlie a little bit. So here's my question about what's happening with you guys, with the community is, are you, because I'm a little confused now, because I thought it was to build up Charlie's property so that it could house all these houses. But I'm a little confused because I think Justin was saying something about building walls on properties that nobody knows who owns them or something. So are we talking other properties now, or are you still working on Charlie's property? I'm confused there.
So Justin.
Yeah. So Barb, just to clarify, Charlie's property is where his house is, and that's it. There's not this expansive land that's just available for us to just build on right now. So we have to claim it. We have to claim ownership. It's a lot of just unclaimed, empty land. And if we don't claim it, then some other corporation, some other, anyone can. It's stuff that's just been there. It's outside of city districts. So the actual land.
He is driving through Mexico. So that might be that.
Oh, job.
Just
yeah, that's where I understood, because I thought it was like property that Charlie already had control of, that then we were going to possibly build on top of that. So that would be my only concern giving money towards this, is that I want to know for sure that that property will stay in the hands of who it should be, right?
Well, the first level of it is claiming the land. And so that has a certain level of expense. So, you know, some of us are saying, okay, well, us two will take this plot, or us four families are going to take this. And we're kind of going about it at that point. And so then, you know, this might be a conversation also that we could have, you know, in private, more for the people that want more information on this. But when you contribute your $5, you're basically contributing towards, or whatever, I hope it's more, but I'm detached. But it's towards claiming land. It's towards saying, like, look, this is Freakville. This is where we are. And this is where we're going to be. And we need to claim that, because we're not going to purchase it from somebody. And the first level of doing that is building a wall and claiming the land, getting back on. And then from there, we need to build structures. And so, you know, they've invested in some really important aspects of what it would take for the whole community to have things like water and, you know, like that. But it's a very different way of doing things. It's not going and saying, okay, we're going to, like the properties that I was looking at in Puerto and in the surrounding along the Oaxacan coast were much more like the way that you do it in Babylon. You buy, you know, a piece of land, which could still happen. And might, who knows? I mean, if there's, but we want to start. I really felt, and as a group, I think all of us felt that it had to happen here first. We had to ground it in first here near them. And then to see, you know, if it could be replicated and grown in other places. That's how I felt. Like, I didn't feel like I was at the place where I wanted to, you know, go raise $500,000 to purchase property that was beachfront, which is totally possible, but I didn't have the energy for that. First here. That didn't feel like, and then to see my mission right now. When God tells me to go do that, I'm going to go do that. And there's a couple people that have reached out to me that have said, you know, if you have a project, let me know, and this and that. But right now, this is the project. The project is getting some fences up and claiming. And so anyone who's interested needs to, you know, contact them or us, or, you know, start having a conversation around, you know, is this something you want? It's definitely a new way of doing things. It's different. So it's going to take some feeling into for a lot of us, but let's keep going. Okay.
Yep.
Barbara?
Yes. Oh, sorry, Barbara.
Barbara from Europe?
Yeah, hi.
Hello.
Okay, now I changed the subject again.
Great.
I talk about, well, you talk about money today, and it's so funny because yesterday I was with a friend, and I told her I wanted to ask my boss for more money. I was like, I wanted to do this last year, and then this virus came along, and we didn't have like much work. Mm-hmm. And I was afraid to lose my job, so I didn't ask. And yesterday my friend said, okay, if you don't ask, you might not get anything. So today I got to my boss and I asked him, and he was looking at me, and he walked out, was calling some what do you call this, finance man he's working with, and he came in and he said, is this enough? And I said, yes, that's good. I was like, wow. And then he gave me separate money, and he said, okay, this is because it starts 1st of July here, you have some. And I was like, what is that? You know, I just asked.
And maybe that's all it takes, and that's what we're doing. Somebody in the chat had just said something, Barbara, around, you know, don't become another online beggar and something. And I was like, oh, that's funny that that's how you perceived it. But I can see where you could see it that way, because, a lot, your money is hard earned. A lot of you have jobs that you don't like, or things like that. And so I get that. And you decide how you alchemize your relationship to the job, to the money, and how you want to roll. Like for us and our family, like we live on the edge. We don't have any securities outside the divine hand. So a lot of people aren't ready for that. So they'll stay in the job that they hate or they don't like so much, but because of the security, it's okay. And that's fine. Like that's where some people are. Some people really love their job. Some people really feel like they like the balance of having, I do this from 9 to 5 and then I have my evenings. Some people really like that. Wherever you are, all we want is for everyone to thrive. And that also includes us. And if you're receiving from this, if it's affecting your life, if it's creating more miracles, and it's encouraging you to be the best version of yourself, if you value that, then contribute or pay it forward in another way. That's what we're trying to say. I already value this. Like I already know whether you contribute or not, I'm going to keep doing this because I know that miracles are going to occur and that alchemy is, and I'm healing so much. And I'm still going to offer my private courses. I want to actually talk about that with you guys at some point today and get a little bit more intimate with some of you guys that don't want to be live. I get too many messages of people that want me to like talk to them that just don't want to be live. And I get that. So all of those things are going to happen. And then events, if you come down here for an event, then you could bless your job because you're like, wow, well, that job offered me the opportunity to buy a plane ticket and to pay for my accommodations and my juice and my time hanging out with all of the mighty friends. And it'll be sliding. It'll all be real. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be like $10,000 to come to Freakville and hang out for, like, that's craziness. Like, but it will be reasonable based on what we have and what we can offer you, and to make sure that we can continue to move forward. The bottom line that I just want to make sure that we get super, super clear here is that I am 100% committed to win-win. I believe that's how God is. Even when it seems like we're losing, we're gaining something. So it's not about like the old system is, I mean, just look at it. Look at the bazillionaires and look at the lifestyle. That's win-lose. That's I'm taking from you and adding to me. That's not what this is. This is a reciprocal wave-like motion. If you've ever spent time staring at the waves, they're playing together. They come in, they come out, they get big, they get small. Sometimes they crash. Sometimes, it's like, but it's an ocean of love. That's what this is. And money, and what Justin was saying, and what I'm also saying is this, that money wants to be included there. We want to take ownership of that again and say what it is, not to be told what this is. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the correction is coming in with food as well, with lifestyle as well. Like if you're watching I don't think a lot of you guys are probably still watching Netflix anymore, but like, your Netflix, we all valued Netflix at some point. We all valued things. And it's like Barb having a $10 credit card. Like she's not valuing some of the things that she valued 6 months ago. So it's, you get to decide, what do you value? Isn't that a beautiful thing? That's sovereignty. That's taking ownership again of being like, no, like it's valuable to me. Like think of all the losses I just took financially, a rent here, a rent there, a car there. And because I valued this in the moment, I valued my sovereignty. I valued my health. I valued my children's emotional well-being. And I made a move. And I did that. And that was my choice because I valued this. And we're all at free will here. We all have a choice to do this the way that we want to do. And there's no judgment coming from us. Or I don't think even from you on this. I mean, some of you in the chat, but that's okay because I totally feel you. I know I get you. I haven't really worked. I haven't had a job since I was 24. I couldn't, that just didn't work for me. But for a lot of people, and I wish it did. Can I just say that? There is like, I don't know. I really do. I wish I could have just like had a job and lived in the house next to my parents and like married just a banker or somebody who just like, paid for everything. And I was just like the housewife. Like sometimes I wish I had that life. Please don't judge me. Just saying, sometimes I think that would be easier, but for me, it wouldn't. For someone who's existing there, maybe it is. Maybe that's their path. Who am I to say what's for anyone else? How do I know it's like for me to give you an adjustment or to tell you what's happening in your body? You're the one who lives in your body. Same thing on the yoga mat. You decide. I can give you a structure, a framework for what, the asana wants to look like, when you're supposed to breathe, when you're not. But you're the one who has to do the asana. You're the one who has to do the pose. You're the one who's got to stretch into that. It's like Barbara just did. She's the one who's got to ask for the money. She's got to be like, no, I'm not being valued where I need to be valued for the time that I'm putting into this. And I'm just going to go ask for it. And then she did, and then she got it. And we call that a miracle. Why? Because a miracle is a shift in perception. That's all it is. It's changing my mind about something. It's saying, well, this can actually be easy. That's what I'm learning. Maybe this is going to be easier than I think it is to raise the money to go build the gate, and to learn about how to be like Barb and have a $10, to stop spending. Like, Puerto was one way of living. There's no big shops or anything. Here, there's big shops like 45 minutes away. It's fascinating to walk into these shops again. It's kind of disturbing also to realize how expensive everything is for no godforsaken reason. It's like really silly things like toothbrush holders are $15. It's like, that just seems kind of silly. Like I could buy a whole bag of oranges for $15 and feed my family for a whole day. What do I need a toothbrush holder for? But the old me wants a freaking toothbrush holder because I haven't had one for 2 years. So I want a toothbrush holder. But that's my work, like I'm not going to spend your money on toothbrush holders. But what I'm saying is an example around value. And what is it going to take for all of us to get into that place where we're jiving it and we're not in lack? And we can continue to give and give and give, because it's like also like what Patrick says, sometimes it feels really bad. And that's why I started charging so much more, because life was getting so much more expensive. But it wasn't the client's fault. It was the system that was skewed, that I don't want to play in that system anymore. That's the difference here. But it doesn't mean we're not still operating with fake money until we're operating with real money, which hopefully, the sooner we get this stuff right, us, the people that are up and awake and doing this work, the sooner that we get this right and we start showing up and we start contributing. You should see how like Aaron is contributing. Like he's cleaning up every morning, the water and sweeping, he's taking out the compost. Like that's a service. So it's $10 a day or whatever the number is. It's how can we be of more service? And the thing is that you can't be of service until you're filled, till you're like filled up. And so that's what we're saying. It takes a lot of energy to fill my cup, which is a gift to me. So I that's why I keep doing it. It's no one, I do that for me too. But that is the win-win, right? When you guys are like, wow, those guys got the fence up. I can't wait to go camp out in their backyard. You know what I mean? They got their fence up. I mean, I'm going to be able to hang out with Sarah. Yeah. You can come hang out with her and like talk to her, and she's going to love on you. And you guys can juice together, and that's going to be really fun. And you're going to contribute for that because she's contributing too for that. We're all like, that's what's so beautiful about this shifting out of lack and going, wow, we are abundant. This family is very abundant. The gifts and the talents of each and every one of us put together is a spectrum of light that's beyond a rainbow. It's the visions you get in meditation. That's us activated. That's what this is. We're here to activate ourselves and each other, to wake up our feeling bodies, to quiet our thinking minds, and to get moving on the things that we need to get moving, and not to get so stuck and dense in the past and all the shit. It's time to, keep accelerating. And all of you have accelerated immensely. And guess what? I'm here to tell you, There's hope. Never say you're done on this journey. Jesus said that, not Marie Russell. Never say you're done. That's in the way of mastery. Never say you're done. Keep asking for more. My yoga teachers say that, ask for more. Just when you're getting fried, just when you feel you can't take it anymore, ask for more. That's the time. I can take this. Okay, give it to me. Give it to me.
And that's where, when you were talking about, we have to be full. When we are open to receive, then we can be filled, and everything that's coming into in love, abundance, all the beautiful things that are being shared and happening right now in the community, when you are open to receiving, and there comes a point where it's so much that you have to become overflowing.
Yeah.
And then no matter how much is being poured in, you keep on giving, because there's so much you receive that there's a lot to share to others as well. And I think that's where the true reciprocation happens, where when we are overflowing, somebody else can be filled as well. And then it's just keeps continuing like the waves, you said.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that. And that's what I feel like right now. I feel like I need to serve more. That's why I want to run my courses. I want to get back into it. I want to look again at the Course in Miracles. I love this material. It's really, really good stuff. I asked Jesus today, straight up. I had some time to ask questions. It was really amazing. Did you write A Course in Miracles? You know what he said? Yes. Without skipping a beat. He said it's not for everybody, but it is for you. It is your book. And that's what we know. If it's your book, you know it. And if it's not, you can still learn the universal principles. It's just like the virtues. It's the truth. So, but that material really resonates with me. And you know what else he said was that you have to teach more. You have to. You people have to show up. We're counting on you. Because I want to sit with you in the circle, because I've been teaching for 15, 17, almost 20 years. And I miss teaching. And I'm not doing that enough. And being online is great, but it's like, it's time. And I want to teach more, because I'm overflowing. Literally, I'm learning so much so fast. I've got to get it out. I just got to get it out. Otherwise, I go nutty. I do. And nobody likes that, especially my children or my husband. So you have to do this for them. They need you. They need you. They can't take Mimi gone mad. It's not a pretty picture. So, but thank you for that. It is. We've got to serve more. And you'll feel so much better when you do. And if you're not received in one area, then you just keep asking for guidance. Okay, where can I serve? Where do you want me to go with this? All right, do events. Okay, get back online. It's time. If not for anybody, for me. So if anybody, like I said, I'm going to put my email in here. If anybody wants to start the course, my coaching course, we can talk more about that. But I want to actually start Saturday. Like, I'm ready. But email me and get on the list and we'll talk about it. I'm going to put my email here in the chat. Okay. Thank you for that, Patrick. And you see the miracles, like, of how these circles come together, and like the perfect people that are supposed to be on are always on. Like Emily, like, hello, hi. I don't think we've met. Would you mind like saying hello and hi?
Hi, how you doing, Marie and everybody?
Hey.
I've been following Charlie now for quite a while, and of course you and Justin. So I'm always I can't get enough. So, but I've been here all along. So just haven't had the nerve to get on, and I'm like, I'm going to jump on there today. So, but I'm totally right in line with what you guys are talking about in your dreams and feelings and stuff like that. So I want to help contribute myself, and it's just amazing. And I've always been on like the vegan diet, but then now doing the fruitarian and just trying to get my own health back and stuff like that. But I've totally want to make a trip down to Mexico and see about permanence there, living, and just having the unity and growth with helping people. And I just, all of it, it's just, I don't even know how to describe it. I just want to be a part of that because it's just so awesome that I don't see how I couldn't be. It just feels like this is what I've always wanted. So just glad to meet such wonderful, like-minded people. And I can't wait to meet everybody in person. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving so much of yourself and sharing. I just feel really blessed to come across you guys.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you for the acknowledgement. That means so much. It really does. You know, it's not always easy. It's always worth it.
Yeah.
But it does. Sometimes there are days where I'm like, I can't. But I always do it because it's not me.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I don't have to do it. Thank goodness, right? That I could just like, all right. Even if I just take 2 seconds, like my kids, I was trying to get them out the door, you know, and so I didn't really have time to ground in. 2 seconds. I sat my face in the sun and said, whatever needs to happen today, I'm in.
Yeah. I love that because you're so humble about it too. So that's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, we're happy to hold the space for you and to welcome you. And, you know, you use the word community and in that word is communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what this is. This is
Yeah.
practicing this. I know, Patricia, we're going to have some time to do that as well. I'm super excited to be with you on this because this is one of my most biggest triumphs. I was the most shyest child. Like,
yeah, me too.
I was the one hiding behind my parents. Like you know, the first time I had to lead a yoga class, I you know, was sick to my stomach. So it has taken a lot of energy for me to learn how to communicate and how to trust my inner dictation and my inner flow and how to study and how to keep getting on my mat all these years and getting my head below my heart. And please use those yoga classes, friends. Please, we're going to keep doing them as long as it makes sense. But like that has helped a lot because even just moving the breath up and down through the throat chakra is moving the energy. And so sometimes, you know, it comes out, it's a dog on my leg. But sometimes when it comes out, you know, at first it comes out a little bit, you'll feel it. Someone wrote me recently and said they were shaking on one of Lonnie's shows because they're not used to using their voice. And I'm like, yeah, well, this is this place. This is a sacred circle where I'm holding the bar up here. I'm holding it. And there are others holding it higher than me. Thank God, you know, that we're all holding this bar, but it's so that we can practice this because we need to reclaim our voices. We need our voices back. We need to reclaim our digestion. Yeah. We need to reclaim our skin. We need to reclaim our teeth, our hands, our feet, our thoughts, everything. We have to and we have to claim our position in the circle of love. That's what this is about. This is like, no, when you show up to this call today, you're like, no, I deserve a place here at this table. I'm doing the work too. I'm doing it because no one knows except for the people here in the circle how hard the work is.
And there it's really important to, with regards to value, is not to value the outcome, but to value the effort you're putting in. And when you are 100% in, and you are just starting with breathing through your throat chakra, that's you doing 100% work at that moment in that time. And then the results will show. So instead of comparing yourself to somebody who's on a different stage on their path, just reward yourself for the value you put into yourself at that moment. And maybe it's just showing up in a Zoom call or just reaching out to somebody. When you are 100% within and behind yourself and saying, I'm going to take this next step from that place, then you are doing the work, and that's exactly perfectly doing the right thing at the right time, at the right place.
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. It takes courage. It takes courage. This is all about self-love and loving yourself through it. And, you know, I can look at areas. It's so good that you're talking about comparison too. It's like, you know, I do that. I compare myself to Charlie, for example, or like, why would I do that? That's craziness. Like, that makes no sense. Like, just compare yourself to the best version of you, because my version of this is just as valuable. And it's stepping into my equality. That's the work for me, is to stop idolizing and having false idols, because that's what we do sometimes when we compare ourselves to others. And that's not what this journey is. There are so many areas of my life that really need improvement. You know, finances being one of them, where, you know, I have a 10-year marriage, and that's something, you know. So you might have something going on really good with money, but are struggling with relationships. And that's what this is. It's just, I find that what happens with a lot of us is we focus on what we're really good at, which is great. I'm not saying don't do that, but also looking at how can I improve other aspects of my life that cause me suffering, that cause me shame, that cause me blame. Am I willing to improve those areas of my life? Meaning, am I willing to have awareness of what they even are? Am I willing to look at those things? Because I cannot heal them if I'm unwilling to look at them. And I don't necessarily need to know all the ins and outs of them. I can even just go to meditation and spirit and say, look, I know I have some issues in this place. Can you clear for me? Can you show me what I need to see? Not necessarily what I want to see, because the ego wants to see everything so it can be nitty gritty and poke around and keep track of everything and remind you in a weak moment of how that's what the ego does. It's vicious. It's how it rolls. But a lot of times it's just it's like what Charlie teaches about the 360, the circle. And what's amazing is that we're pulling this together, which is allowing all of us to accelerate our acceptance of our circles. What's not circular here? Where are the loopholes? Where are the fractures in my own auric field? And to be together often is illuminating. That's what it does. That's why you guys come to these shows and you watch them live, and then you watch them later and you write me nice messages, which I love to read. Right? Who's next? Nada? All right. Alan.
I admire what you're doing, Marie. I want to thank you for what you're doing for us, using this money tool or spell, like what Justin said, to help bring heaven on earth. You know, money is something I eventually want to detach myself from. I want to say for about a decade now, it has been saddening me to see people, a lot of us, being programmed and being slaves to this money system. And I see that it's like affecting us in crazy ways. Like, people will lie, they'll kill, they'll steal. They pretty much sin, you know, for this money. Like you said, people work 9 to 5 on jobs that they don't even like, just for this money. And I ultimately feel that the value of money is ultimately in our heads, but it's really hard to get away from, because, yeah, we're pretty much programmed into this system. But I'm hoping that when Earth becomes more and more like heaven, more of us will be able to detach ourselves from it. And and speaking of, I am currently I think I'm at 32 hours now of this dry fast, and I finally re-entered the zone where I don't crave anything. And so this is helping me save money, which is good. And you were talking about it's so much more fun to give. It's my brother's birthday today, and 2 days ago it was my friend's birthday. And so I'm able to use this extra money that I'm saving from dry fasting to buy them some more fancier gifts. So yeah, it's so much more fun to give. And yeah, I'm hoping I could continue this this dry fasting, and then this will help me save more money to quickly get that ticket to Mexico. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to sitting on the grass under the sun, sipping juice with my mighty companions. Love you all. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Wow. So beautiful. It's so moving, isn't it, to hear the brothers and the sisters, communicate, just to communicate, to really be in it. That's communion. We all went to church and we took the stupid communion. This is communion. This is it. This is that spiritual moment where I'm at one with you guys. And that's the healing. I'm not afraid anymore. And look at who you're in the company of. Like, seriously, that's what I keep looking around here and going, well, it's worth it. It's worth it. I'm getting fried. I mean, wow. Did I think I had my shit together? Not so much. All good though. All good. All good. All a blessing. All steps in the right direction. Thank you, Alan. Yeah, I can't wait for that. And we're excited. We're getting ready for that. That was a big download for our group yesterday, and how we can support ourselves and keep this thing going. And it will all be out of love. And if you can't contribute anything, you'll just be the juicer. Like, no big deal. Like, it'll all work out great. So we're not worried about that, but we are encouraged to take ownership, like to add a level of consciousness to this too. It's like what you're saying about dry fasting. Like, you're like, wow, consciously, like, wow, I could not eat the watermelon. I could give the watermelon to somebody else today. That's interesting.
I was just about to talk about the watermelon part. I had watermelon maybe like a week ago, and I think I accidentally swallowed 1 or 2 seeds, and I see my stool on the watermelon seed came out pretty good. But I kind of feel bad because I'm like a barbarian. I still go number 2 on the toilet instead of out in the field, but that's probably how I'll can contribute to, like, I want to help farm and plant fruits over there. Yeah.
Great. We love that. Please do that.
Oh, I was listening to the Mankind's Quest to True Health, and how Josh X was talking about, our poop becomes perfect fertilizer for the seeds. And I was also listening to Anna Yakuba, who has a school for fasting in Ukraine, I believe. And she was talking about when these people enter that breatharian zone, they just look at eating food as our digestive system processing fertilizer for the seeds that we swallow. And so that's kind of what I was thinking. Maybe in Garden of Eden, our digestive system, one of the reasons for our digestive system is to make fertilizer for the seeds that we swallow, so that then we could just continue planting these seeds. So it's just, that really blew my mind. One day I would like a nickname like a great name like Vegetable Please or Josh X or Remember Answer. Yeah.
Let me think about that. I used to be good at giving nicknames to the students.
Please do. When I was in the military, nobody could pronounce my last name. So for my nickname for like the longest time was Mango. And I never thought I'd ever become a fruitarian.
Wow. Well, God knew. God knew.
Mm-hmm.
God knew. Wow.
We have a palm tree that I found in the back, and I'm like, it doesn't have coconuts or anything, and the leaves are a little bit yellow, but I'm like, if all of us just go back there and pee on the trees, we'll probably end up getting some coconuts. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. We like my daughter, like I prefer to just go pee outside
No,
now.
me too.
I just like, I'm
Always.
just like, it's, you kind of get to these next where it's just like, I have to go all the way upstairs. Can I just go take a whiz over there? I'll be done in 30 seconds, you know, like, but yeah, it's it's interesting to see how we're all going to come back to that level of nature. And
But since like February now, I have not peed in the toilet. I know. I sound like a little kid, right? So I've been peeing on my tomato plants, and the tomato plants are looking beautiful now. But I've been experimenting with different plants, and I noticed like my basil don't really like my pee. It's my tomatoes that are like, yes, more pee.
Right. Okay, well, that's good to know. We can skip that one. Let's just skip that lesson. Yeah. Wow.
I hope the women who are in their moon times are offering their blood to the earth.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
I never thought about that.
I've heard that that's the way we're supposed to be doing it. And I'm, yeah, it's time to, there's so many of the things, right? And that's part of what we're waking up to, Sarah, that like, God, we did everything wrong, you know, like, and then it's healing that and not beating yourself up about it because you just didn't know, you know, and I mean, you knew, but you didn't, and all of that. So yes, when someone recently said that to me, I was like, geez, that too, you know? It's like when Amber stayed with us and was like, you shouldn't be using shampoo. And I'm like, seriously, I'm using shampoo. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just going to do it. I will stop at some point, but I'm not ready for that too. I can't give shampoo up yet.
Well, especially in Mexico with the water is so hard. Like I had to use shampoo for the first time in like 6 months because my hair turned dry. I couldn't, it was like dreadlocks.
Yeah. And my hair is like dreadlocks, but it's just, but where I'm at, but maybe I'll just go dready. Like I could do that. I could roll.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting there, but you know, I'm still kind of like looking around at Bed Bath and Beyond. So I'm still, you know, I'm still growing. You know, and I want us to go at our own pace. Like it's a miracle that my kids are literally only eating cooked rice as cooked food right now. Like that's a miracle. So I want to celebrate that. I want to celebrate with you guys your wins too. And look at what we're doing right rather than what we're doing wrong, because we've really been annihilated around that. Like this journey has just been, my self-esteem is like wounded. My not good enough, like all of my stuff just based on dealing with this awakening journey, you know, and so we're settling into more comfort and we're going at the pace that we can. And, you know, he's ready to pee on his tomato plants. Like, you know, Sarah's going to start peeing on that coconut tree and, you know, let's pray, you know, but we're getting there, but like, let's do that. So with the cup thing, Sarah, because got to get the cup thing.
I'm sure
We could talk about that.
Okay. So I'd love to talk about this. Because
just a little bit, though. Just a little bit, because I don't want to, if you don't mind.
Just a little bit. Okay. So better actually to use cloth and then use cotton. And then when the cotton is full of blood, you would put that in a little pail with water, and then the water and the blood, then put it on the earth. I've only recently found out from some women that there can be issue with the Diva cup. Yeah. As far as keeping it inside you. Now I did that for years and I loved it. And I collected the blood and then I diluted the blood with water and then offered it to the earth. But what feels is the best is to go just fold beautiful cloth and then put that into the water and keep that in a little covered pail during your moon time, and then do a little ritual, take it to the earth, and you will be guided where to take it. And I did do this for years, and without fail, I couldn't not do it. So if anyone wants guidance, and I have zero judgment if you haven't done it, I just knew that it was very right for me to do it. And I loved it.
Wow.
So.
Wow. I just even hearing you speak about it is like healing. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, all of us, like, God, you know, the women,
Mhm. And my son Rowan was very, he knew all about it, and it was just normal for him. You know what I mean? Like he just thought that's what women do. So
Wow. Yeah, well, that's what we're going to start doing too. We're going to, just the healing aspect of it. It's like with Team Honey's work, you'll meet them when you come down here, and, they're going to do ceremonies, I think, every Friday night for our community online and here in person. And then we get an extra one for us here on Tuesday nights, which is just beautiful. And it's that level of healing, that shamanic, that like very deep, earthy, like with shakers and rose petals. It's so essential. I mean, we've come so far away from that, like just in our cars, and just everything is upside down. And so that's been also really beautiful, just to hear their music resonating and the incense burning a lot, and now the yoga and getting back in touch with our breath and healing our bodies. And yeah, beautiful. You guys are so much fun. Anybody else who hasn't shared? Penny, Shelley, Patricia?
I don't have too much to say, but I'm a bit like Alan, pretty much detached from money. I've never really been a money person, and it's just come when I needed it, and it's the way it's always been. So I don't really worry about it. Take no thought about it at all. But I do get I understand that we are investing in a future in Mexico, and so it's a worthy thing. Yeah. So,
and we're living the Garden of Eden. Like we're really trying that out. Like I have these moments where I'll look out and be like, yeah, that's it. Like I'll feel it. There might still be like a Mexican music somewhere, but it's very rare now, because energetically we've created this space that's very sacred. So yeah, it's like we're resonating, and that's what we want. Like, and just that is plenty. It's like, think about the monks and the nuns and the people just sitting in prayer all freaking day. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for holding the frequency of God, for us. And any level that we can do. And that's why when you sit for 20 minutes every day, or however long you're sitting, you're doing that for you, but also for everybody. For everybody.
Yeah, well, we're a community. Wherever we are, we're still a community.
Yeah.
Yes,
we are.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happened.
Thank you too, Marie, for your time and your energy.
Thank you. You're welcome, Penny. It's been a really incredible journey, and it's still happening. Like I'm still processing so much of it. I don't think I'm on the other side of it yet. I'm still in it very much, and surprised and confused and dazed and enlightened and euphoric and blissed out and depressed. And I don't know. It's just this whole movement of energy. And that's what the healing is all about. I mean, breaking down density. That's what we're doing, all of us. And becoming alkaline, and the acidity is coming away, and it's like a crumbling. It's like I've had plant medicine journeys where I could actually feel the mud, like I was being reborn again, where the mud was melting away, like all of the clay. And so it's such a, with the last show with Charlie too, it was like, I think I shared this, I'm pretty sure it was that one, just that this is real, like this is happening. And that's what's been so incredible about this community, is that we know that, and we're feeling that, even when we're shy from it, or we're not happy about it, or we're confused or upset about it, we know that it's grounding in the Bible. It is biblical. It's grounding in the metaphysical to the physical. And we're actually experiencing these integrations. And it is an integration. It's an alignment with a level of energy that is non-negotiable. It's you can't mess with it. It's like, whoa, whoa, this is real. And, you know, for all these years, I've been running around the world saying, only love is real. Hashtag only love is real. All my Instagram, all this stuff. I haven't even checked my Instagram. If anybody writes me on Instagram, I'm coming. I am going to do it again at some point, but like, only love is real. And that's what we're doing. That's what this is about. Everything else is, you know what it is. I don't have to tell you what it is. You know. And how willing are we to continue to step out at the pace that we can? Because I really believe that's, some of us are called to do that more than others. And if you are, you know it. If you're called to make a big move, you are. I knew it. I knew she had to make a big move. Some of us do. Some of us not yet. Some of us later. Some of us yesterday. So you get to decide where you're at in that. That's not for me, unless you want to sit down and hash it out. I'm happy to do that. But, you know, a lot of us, they're moves. It's Exodus. It's the redemption song. You know the story. You know the story. But it's also a really exciting thing that's happening for all of us. And my recommendation is to do the best you can to stay out of your head with it all, and just ask, you know, what would you have me do? Right, Patrick? What would you have me say? Where would you have me go? It's that level. What would you have me say, and to whom? And then just have the courage to say it. Right? Mm-hmm. We say hard things. Sometimes it's a little bit.
Not us.
Well, we're good. We got it going on. We're good. Thank God I have some sisters again in my life that I can just like lean on. I don't have to be anybody. This is who I am, right? This is who I am. This is who I am.
I came to investigate.
We moved the kids out of her room. She was adorable. She came in like, I was like, it's really sweet that you're sharing a room with my kids, but we have to move things around because we just have to, you know? And she's like, was it something I said? It's like, I love that, you know, just like keeping our sense of humor about this thing. Cause it's, you know, it's like, you know, strangers that, you know, it's bizarre. You'll see, you already know, you'll see. It's just weird. It's a whole thing. It's a whole situation. We love it.
It's a very different world that we live in now, you know. Like I never thought in a million years that this would be my life. And it all just happened so fast. But it's really beautiful because to see, you know, to be in the presence of Justin and Marie and Aaron and Danny and everybody that's doing this thing. It's like they've given up everything and put everything into this. And so it's like, it's easy. You could easily go into the fear of it all and like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And, or, you know, like we're just trusting, because with the fruit and like the Mexican fruit is like next level, like the cleansing that has been happening with me is like a little bit overwhelming, but you know, it's like, it's just this purity and this clarity. And like, you know, we're in an area that like this place has bars on the windows and we're just outside of Mexico City. And it's like, I'm like, oh, is it actually safe? But like, I feel so safe within myself, regardless of what happens. And that's come from starting with the fruit, you know, and doing the yoga every day and seeing, just being in the presence of what these guys have been doing. It's like everything that you're seeing online and that you've experienced with them is so exactly what's going on, you know, like it's just amazing to be here and to see. It's like this accelerated ascension path that we're on, and the energies are amping up and the sun's doing its thing and all the light that's pouring down. And you see the people that aren't on this path, their lives are getting really shaken up. There's so much chaos going on out there. It's insane. And then tuning in here, whether you're online or you're here, and you know, people are welcome to come here. And like, that's the beautiful thing, is like, we will all meet face to face. Like, I just know it at some point, whether, you know, we're traveling around and doing pilgrimages or whatever, or being here, but it is chaotic out there. And it's really like this work. It's either you're going to do it and you're going to be a part of it, or you're not. And things are going to change for those people really quickly. So, you know, we've all got family members that aren't doing so well right now and aren't on, and it's like, you choose death will inevitably come to you, and you choose life, and that's what you'll receive. So it's like, we kind of got to lean into each other, because we are going to be losing people, and not that they're lost forever. Their souls are always going to come back. But, you know, I need you guys just as much as you guys need this. Like, we all need this, you know, especially right now more than ever. So it's just beautiful.
Right? She's getting ready. She's getting ready, stretching it out. She's good though. She knows it. She knows the story. She knows the story. And she's got to start sharing it too. And it feels good, right? To talk to people, and people are like talking to me going, you know, that Mindy girl, she's like, and I talked to Sarah, and it's like so excited that it's like fun. It's like high school, but like a bazillion times better.
Minus the bullshit.
Minus the bullshit and the testing.
Like, I had no friends before this. I was isolated for so long. I'm like, and I kept thinking, I'm like, I'm 30 years old and I don't even have a girlfriend that I can go for coffee with or anything. And then now all of a sudden it's like, I've got to respond to all these, and it's so much fun. And I'm like, it's like, I feel so connected to, I was just talking to a beautiful friend this morning, and she's like, I feel so connected to you. And our whole relationship has been through Facebook Messenger. And I'm like, I feel so connected to you too. And it just fills me up. And like, who would have thought that like doing this over the phone or online could be so empowering? But it actually is. Like, our technology, even though it can be the downfall, but it offers so much, right? If we just look at the positives of what we're getting out of this. This is why this stuff is here, and these platforms are here so that we could do this right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're reclaiming it all. It can be used for really bad stuff or really good stuff. Same thing with money.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with food.
Yeah.
As I say, same with money. Technology can be used for good, and it can also be very bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. Thank you, Sarah.
Food.
And the
Food can be good or bad.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
It's all the things that we're learning how to, again, integrate. And in that integration, there's a letting go and a grieving process that's happening. And but it's like, you know, Claudia said this to me at one point, beautiful Claudia, who you guys might remember when she was with us, you know, during such a hard time for us in Puerto, and everything was falling apart. And I was just like, God, I didn't realize I put this much on the line for this. Like, now I put my kids, and like the heaviness of that, you know, and having to get through that. And she had said to me, Marie, don't worry about this. She just kept looking at me. She kept saying, don't worry about this. You will be rewarded. And I went, really? Like, for ruining my kids' lives and, you know, being a white supremacist and being, you know, like, and she was like, none of that. Don't think about, none of that is real. And she just kept mirroring back for me, none of that. This is the best. This is so good that this has happened. And she kept saying it, and you will be rewarded, and don't worry about it. Because she could see I was going into like, wow, all of these people all at the same time feel the same way about me. And it's difficult to believe in yourself and to know that that's not true. You know, particularly, and you all know this, you've all had these relationships with people that you love and you respect. And that detachment process is like what Sarah was saying, like, it's life and death right now. And that sounds really, really, really mean to a lot of people. Don't tell me that. And I've said it to people who've called me, you know, I can't even believe you're a Course in Miracles teacher anymore. Only love is real. And now you're talking about death. I'm like, the Course talks about death. Have you read it? Mm-hmm. Have you read it? You're choosing every moment of every day. Do you want to live or do you want to die? And you can slow things down if you need to. No problem, guys. Just get back on. Just get right back on. No big deal. Because why? Because you know, and it's a choice. But that's really what it came down to. And it is a life and death. I was going to die. No joke. If I didn't do something about things, I was going to die. Either they were going to kill me with their drugs over time, slowly, or I was going to get my shit together and figure this thing out. And thank goodness that, you know, I chose the latter, because who knows? I mean, we could take down the whole cancer industry. Mm-hmm. Let's do that. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Let's just
We're doing it by juicing.
Dude, those dickheads, I can't even believe them. When all they needed to do was, instead of pump, you know, chemo, pump coconut water in there. How about that? How about that? I mean, there's so much that we have so much work to do, you guys. This thing has been, the immensity of it. So that's why we're all stepping up our game to the extent that you can, whichever level you're at, acknowledge where you're at, be grateful for it, and just let it organically unfold. There's, some of us have to be accelerated because we have to be, and some of us can take a different time path, but whatever journey you're on, just know you're on it and stay committed on the narrow path. Just keep going. Baby steps, slow down if you need to, speed up if you need to, but you've got your hand on the dial. This is not somebody else's hand on your dial anymore. You are the manifester of your reality. And that's what this is. We are pulling this thing way back up and in. You're pulling your navel in, you're standing up straight, you're putting your chin up, you're walking into the room no matter what they think about you. Because why? Because you know who you are. And you're on the right side of things. Here they are.
Here, Mom.
We did it.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Here comes
Ruby has
Tarzan.
another one.
Right? Do you see
Ruby
my
has
little
another
Tarzan?
one.
This guy's wild. He's a wild human.
Ruby has another one.
Wow, guys. Thank you. Aww. Look, they brought these little plants. These are the Russell children. Wait till you meet these guys. They're pretty great. Right, Adam?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a message for all of our friends?
Yes.
Yes? What?
I don't know.
You don't know? Drink juice?
Drink juice.
Drink juice. Do you like juice? What about Ruby? Anything else? See Penny? See, all of these friends are going to be our friends too. They're having a fun time, guys. They're just, they're walking around through streams, like fresh streams of water, bamboo forests with, it's deep breaths, receive more. Oops, careful with that water. We got to keep receiving. That's the hard part. That's why we have to breathe so deep.
Hey, guys.
It's a lot of love coming in, a lot of love. So I trust you can feel it. And we love each and every one of you so much. And so grateful that we have this opportunity to also express ourselves and to be heard by such beautiful beings of light that are committed to this journey. It's my girl, Ruby. Shelly, thank you for the Reiki. If you guys need some Reiki, hook up with this lady. She is next level.
Definitely.
She'll put some drains on. You'll probably cry for 3 days. I cried for 3 days. I was like, what did this lady even do? I don't even know. We were just talking. Next thing I knew, I couldn't stop crying, but it was good. All the tears that you haven't cried, they got to come out somehow, either in your piss or in your eyes or in your skin. So yeah.
Maybe save those tears and give it to the plants or use it as shampoo.
God, right? It's all a blessing, isn't it? It's all a blessing. God is so good. This thing is so wow. Right? Yeah. These kids are talking about right brain and left brain and right?
Mommy.
Right. It's our little unit. Tears are cleaning the pipes. Thank you, Patrick. So thank you so much for your love and for your support. And we're in touch. Email me if you want to get into that private call. And I've got a bunch of you on the list, and I think we might even start this Saturday. But it'll just be 2 calls a month, one Saturday, one Tuesday, and I'll record them for you guys to have, but it'll be a private link in Vimeo. So I have my professional stuff over there. So if you do miss the live calls based on time, I know, Alan, you wake up super early for these, or you stay up super late. We don't know, but so that's a possibility if you're interested in that. And we're going to work with some tools, some of the processing tools that I've worked with before. And if you want that, great. And if you don't, then please don't come, unless you really want to dive in and do it, because the space can be open for someone else. But there's tons of shows out there that are amazing, and it will be, a contribution. And I trust it will be something that feels like a value to you too, so that you can receive as much that we put, as much as we put into it. And also planning some events. So stay tuned for that. The rest of this week, I think we're off shows until Friday for the Q&A. And hopefully someday we'll be able to do those Q&As right here and Charlie will be here with a group of you guys asking questions live, you know, and he said he would do it. So he's excited too. It's been a real trip and a half, this whole thing. Sorry if you hear everybody's taking a piss right now. So, since we're talking about that kind of stuff. So yeah, anything else anyone wants to share before we close it out for today?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Marie. Hi, Sarah back there. Hi, all the kids there. And Jai, I miss you. I miss you all. I just want to say, like, I'm so grateful, like, that I'm able to just try, right? Try to express, right? And like that is so much, like, that is worth a lot for me. Like, there's so much value. We're talking about value, and I'm so grateful for everyone that has shared around that piece. I've had relationships with money like a dysfunctional relationship, you know, and so I'm like looking at, how is my relationship with God? And why isn't like that with that? So it's a big reflection, like it's a huge reflection upon my relationship with God, with money, with relationships, with, it's all the same. Like, but I need to get on, like, I really need to focus on the belief system within.
Yeah.
And I really know it's all within. And so where it began, like, I learned about how to be of service in AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, and being and also being respectful for the roof that it was under in meetings. So there's a thing called the seventh tradition. So we, you know, you give money here and there, and that's just like, okay, that is it. But I'm just saying it's a bigger and deeper level than that I've been in. But it's teachings. It's respectful for me to, because it's about teachings. It's all about teachings and what I could not get for myself. And I have these beautiful beings giving me the teachings. Their energy is valuable, just like with your energy, Marie, and Charlie's energy and Justin's energy, and all these teachings are valuable for me. And so it's been so healing and so much growth. And it is on technology, but technology is coming right straight to my heart. And that has been like, that's a miracle. Like, that's God. That's actually God giving me this, you know, this gift. And so for me, it's like, I really love the gift of giving, and I'm learning about the gift of receiving at the same time. So it's that balance. And I have, ever since, you know, I've been taking all of this beautiful, like, teachings from all of you in here. It's like, I already see that I'm already there. Like, I'm already in Mexico, and I want to invest, whatever that is, whatever that looks like, right? Monetary, service, it's all there. It's all part and parcel with everything. And it's so, I don't know, it's amazing. And the gift that I'm able to work this thing, like, that's huge. Thank you. And I know it's slow, but it's coming. And that is I'm so grateful for. Thank you. So I'm there with the money thing. I'm there with the belief. I'm there with creating that relationship together.
Thank you. Wow.
Thank you.
Creating that relationship together to get her, right?
To get her.
Like, we're doing this thing, and it's beautiful to support each other on this journey. And everybody's role is so essential. Everybody's part is so essential. So yeah, thank you. I'm so excited to speak with you more and to continue going. And you're so welcome, because I've been really moved too by this journey. You can see, like, how much we've invested in it, you know, energetically and monetarily, because it panged me so deep. And it was that way for all of us. And my function in it was to do that this way. And yours, who knows what it's going to be, but it's just as important. And that's what I think all of us, you know, are saying, is that, like, we're doing this thing together, and everyone's role is so valuable in this. Like, I really mean that. I hope it doesn't sound like smoke up your butt. Like I don't mean it to be that way, like at all. But I do mean that. And I think that that's one of the unique aspects of this community, is that that's what's happening. And we're learning how to trust each other in that way, where it's like I said earlier, you know, I can show you my sadness. I can show you my discomfort. I can show you where I'm wounded, and you're just going to help me heal that. You're not going to identify me as that, because we're not that. We those are the covers to the light within that we've become so accustomed to. And what's happening is we're the juice is friggin' doing it. It's doing it. You might not want that. That's why I think so many of us have to back out and come back into this thing, because like, it's not only the physical detox for me is not a problem. It's the emotional and the spiritual detox and healing that I can't seem to keep up with at times. Look at more of you guys coming in this late in the game. This is hilarious. If anybody needs to roll out, like, it's totally fine. But I am gonna, yay, it's Joe and Dave.
I overslept.
Hey guys, we've been having just an incredible circle today. Just like, yeah, so good. You remember Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
So yeah. Yeah, we're in it good, guys. We've been talking about, gosh, everything. But it's good that you're here now too, Joe. We're just talking about like detox, and I know you know a lot about that. And we're going to have Joe, I'm going to do a show with him really soon, because he's got so much information for all of us. And we're going to get you on that Mankind show, The Quest for, I think, next month. And Alan too, you got to get on that. That would be super fun to have you guys on. But yeah, anything you guys want to share, just pop in.
Can you hear me, Marie?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just kind of popped my head in, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm talking. So, yeah, I think you guys had a great show. I think your message today was good. I think that the energy exchange and what you had discussed earlier, and just how the frequency and the currency, and how it actually has a value to it, but really getting into the importance of understanding that the value is love and not what the monetary dollar kind of looks like to us. And it's hard to disconnect with that, because like you said, we're so engaged and programmed that way. But I think it's great to start reprogramming and reorienting and refocusing our direction more towards sharing and loving amongst each other, instead of with the object around us, which we tend to spend too much time and energy on. And I think that the gathering of you guys together is a great example of everything coming together as one. And I think that that's fantastic. Hang on. I don't know if it's
okay. It's starting to get hot, right? It's really so hot. Are we good? Where did Joe go?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I feel like I have Mexico internet right now. But yeah, I just wanted to chime in and say that I loved it. And yeah, we'll get together and we'll figure out what's going on with getting a show. We'll probably have to do maybe in the evening or possibly Thursday afternoon. I know your schedule is jammed, but we'll have to do something that we can set up. But yeah, it was funny because I was sitting there listening and wondering, like, what's my contribution to the community? And, I was like, oh, I don't want to be like a doctor or anything like that. It's like, I want to be one of the head facilitators for education, like really making it simplistic to heal the body and giving people the knowledge to do it from like the chemistry side, the energetic side, because Charlie brings in the spiritual along with the diet, just is so diverse and knowing things that are beyond what we know. And I'm like, what can I bring to the community? And I'm just really excited about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And you can. And that's what's so fun about this is like, having our whole reality, it encompasses everything. So we've got people that can support with healing, and then your beautiful wife with all of her feminine services that we all love, like hair, facials, and that kind of stuff. And Joe's an incredible body worker, and so and we teach great yoga classes, and whatever it is that is going to happen is just really exciting. But with that comes organization and structure, and like putting grounding these ideas into a reality, which is where we're at now, which is a new kind of, thank you, sweetheart, which is what it is. Like that's the job now. That's our job, not using that word, but in the old reality, is learning how to put this thing together without messing with the magnetism of it, like allowing an organic flow, but also
that one? Who get that one?
Nurturing
Who
it
got
down.
that one?
This one we got the other day in Cuernavaca. So yeah, I'm excited about all that's coming, and everybody doing the work, because if you're not doing the work, we can't talk about this stuff. It just doesn't work energetically. And so that's, sweetheart, will you put that back on? Yeah. Thank you. Because it helps with the glare. Thank you. Please put it back on. So yeah, then there's that. Try that on for size. So not only is it this, it's like parenting and a marriage. And then just, kudos to Marie. Way to go.
It's funny that you say that. One other thing I wanted to add is that I know there's probably people out there who are wondering, like, how am I going to get to Mexico and how I'm going to do this? And I think it doesn't have to be about going to Mexico right now. Like, and it has to be maybe that you spend a small period of time there, donate towards what the goal is of the community, because everybody deep down, and I think you were saying, like, people keep coming back. Like, everybody might not be able to get to where they need to be right now, but we're working towards that end all goal, and that eventually, it doesn't have to happen in 6 months. It doesn't happen in a year, but we need to start focusing and reorienting where we want to invest our life, and where we really want to be, where we truly want to spend the rest of creation, in this chemical form, in this physical form. And I think that that's something that, really, I think was a good thing to touch on today for everyone who was just sitting there just wondering what to take from this. And I think the point of today's Miraculous Monday was off. Go forward.
It kind of cut out there, Joe.
Man.
Is it me?
No, it might be me. But yeah, just what'd you get of it?
It's Marie. It's Marie.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Looks like it cut me out there for a second.
Yeah, I think it was you, Marie, but I'm just gonna let you take over and just kind of listen. But I think that everybody here, like, and after having people at our house this weekend from the Freak Sense community, it was great to again feel the love. And like I talked about, if anybody listened to the fireside chat, that when you actually meet someone in your real life who's part of this community, it just completely brings everything to a whole nother level, because you really truly understand that you didn't even really know that person that well, even though you feel like you understand them completely, and then you actually see them, and then the love just gets bigger and greater. And I think that everybody should be excited about that right there.
So true, Joe. Joe and I've had a few moments where we just like I love you.
The best.
I just so good. It's like it just feels like freedom. It's like the clearest, cleanest kind of love. It's the sweetest kind. It's the truest one. Adam's agreeing with me. Yeah. And it is. And these guys have kids. And, those of you with families, like, me and Danny are doing this, and Joe and Stephanie are doing this with 2 little ones. And so if you've got little ones, it's possible. It's possible. It's next level, but it's possible. And they deserve it. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for coming on. That really warmed my heart.
You guys are the best.
Yeah. Super fun. They're super, super fun. All right. Who's next? Jeannie's back. Dave was around. Who wants to say hi first?
I'll say hello. Since I just I popped in late, but
right.
You hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I popped in late, but I kind of got the gist of what's going on and what Joe was talking about. Bringing something to the table. I mean, I've been blessed to have been taught to do all kinds of things. The trip that I'm going to next weekend to see my aunt, it's like a celebration of my uncle's life. Passed away right before the COVID stuff, so I'm glad he didn't get snagged into all that. But he taught me everything growing up as a kid, and so how I look at what I bring to the table is kind of like I've been doing everything else lately. I'll find out when I get there. I just try to do what needs to be done, and it all works out that way. I was talking to Marie the other day, and one thing she pointed out when I told her the story about me being able to go down to North Carolina this coming weekend is that you all had a part of that, the energy, when I shared what was going on, how I was feeling. And so that's the huge part of it all. I think that's the glue. That's everything that holds this all together, is whatever I bring to the table is what needs to be brought to the table, and I'm able to do it. And those things will work themselves out in the moment that they need to be done. That's how I'm trying to do everything now. Probably why I jumped on it after 3 o'clock in the afternoon instead of 1 my time, because I kind of got up late and started going into autopilot about thinking almost like it was Sunday. And it's like, wait a minute, today's Monday. And then I got to thinking, well, they're 2.5 hours long. They may still be on. So I popped on, and here I am, and you're all here. So
we just kept going today. We just kept going. So I know I try and keep them to 2 hours, but it's all good.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to see everybody here, and I'm glad to be part of this. I really am.
Thank you. We're glad you're a part of it.
A beautiful day.
Thank you. Thanks, Dave. And thanks for being here. Love you. Right, Jeannie, what you got?
Oh, I'm on. I didn't know. Can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, good. Nothing. I just wanted to say hi. Hi, beautiful Adam. He's so handsome. You are so handsome.
Wow.
I love you.
Oh, so sweet.
I don't know who are you.
He doesn't know. Well, she's a new friend. She's a new friend.
I'm a good friend.
Yeah. She likes juice too. Adam's really having fun with the dogs, right? It's a lot of fun for them to be playing with dogs and like running in the field and climbing up trees. No?
I can't wait to come play with you. I love little kids.
Oh. They're pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty fun.
I love doing games and crafts and all kinds of stuff with little kids.
Wow. Yeah. Well, good, because we need some love. That's the other thing is that, I went from having, not to sound, spoiled or anything, but I had a setup, I had kids in a program, we had a nanny, we had, someone helping us with the house and, all the things. And then it was just like 1, 2, 3. And now it's like all on us. And that's on purpose too. We wanted it to be that way. Like we wanted to be with the children more, and we wanted to spend more time in all of that.
Yeah.
But, Kira, Kelm, you've been so fantastic with me, just supporting me and kind of like giving myself a minute to get organized, and not only, we moved from our house that was pretty much ours, we had people in and out a lot, but now it's like, there's people here all the time. And so it's been a big adjustment for everybody, for sure. And the kids are extraordinary how it's easier for them than it is.
They adjust. Yeah, they adjust easy.
Have a much harder time with change and with communication and things. Like they just tell it like it is, it's like,
They're great.
Yeah. So I feel you with the kid thing. And I think that, right now it's okay that it's just them here, but I really do, I look forward to when Joe and Stephanie come back, and because our kids all get along really great. And that's what it is. And it's people too. Like, I know a lot of people want to be with the animals, and that's a beautiful thing, but we also have 2 like beautiful children that want to know what you know. And that was the whole point of, really getting this community accelerated too, was that, I'm raising kids. And so we wanted to make sure that they were around people that were of like mind, and that we're going to teach them, the truth. Like, and so we wouldn't have a lot to undo later. And so it's incredible to see already how they're changing. And they're becoming just so much more enlightened. It's really fascinating to see. And I think that this is also, we're going to take down the cancer industry and formal education, which, already there's lots of communities that aren't formal, but recreating what's important, what's valuable. How do we honor the children? What do we want to share with them? How do we want them to behave in a community? That's trippy too. Learning how to clean up after themselves. The things, the basic things. Hold on with that. And I was playing with my computer. But anyway, thank you, Jeannie, for wanting to be with the children, because anyone who's got that
You could kiss him. You could kiss him. He's so cute.
He doesn't want me to be on the camera.
He's flirting with me.
Funny, right?
I love kids.
Right on, Jeannie. Well, thanks for saying hi, and thanks for all the messages that you send and all the support that, everybody has a place here. Everybody's doing so great. And yeah, I'm super excited to see how it all continues to play out. So anyway, lots of love to you guys. I think I'm going to close it in.
Okay, sweetie. I love you.
Love you too. Have a great afternoon, morning, whatever you have. And thanks, Dave, for stopping in. And yeah, be in touch. Contribute if you can. We love you. Pay it forward.
Bye-bye.
And it's all good. All good in the hood. Namaste, friends. Bye-bye. Love you all so much. Thank you.